Welcome to Taking Care of Business on News Talk 1180 KERN for the best in Saturday Talk Radio at 1 o'clock and on 1230 KGEO at 10 o'clock Saturday, and for the best in Wednesday Talk Radio on 1410 KERI, the Christian station. We're now on 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also 3 times on the internet on knookmedia.com, serving Richmond, Oakland, and the San Francisco Bay Area. Plus, you can catch any of our shows for the last 4 years on the internet at The Clay and Marty Show. Your host is Clay Koerner, and I'm Marty Pay, and our producer is Greg Held. Hey, Clay, that was a great show with Rose Bowl and Super Bowl winning coach Dick Vermeil last week.
Well, it was another winner.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Of course you do.
Do we get rings for it like Vermeil get?
I'll give you a ring.
Yeah, no
ding,
thanks.
Ding.
Oh, thank you. Very good. Dick's going to be the main speaker at the Coach is going to be the main speaker at the Honor Flight Gala event on April 26th, and I highly recommend this event. It takes World War II and Korean War veterans and sends them to Washington, D.C. to see the monuments, and our own Congressman Kevin McCarthy shows them around the Capitol, so it's a fantastic event.
And 900 are dying each day now.
900 World War II veterans a day. Yeah, we're down to that, unfortunately. I'll be the auctioneer that night. There's some great items for sale. One of them is the Duck Dynasty. I guess he autographed a shotgun, right?
Right.
Yeah, that'll be going for $10,000 or $15,000 in that neck of the woods. Anyways, to find out more information, call 661-221-1819. And speaking of the Honor Flight Gala, our second guest for just one segment today will be Kelly Gayford Gladden, who's the event coordinator for the Honor Flight Gala event on April 26th. I wanted to also thank last week's second guest for coming on the program, Romeo Agbalog, who is running for the 32nd Assembly District. That's going to be a contentious district here, so we'll have the other two candidates on.
A lot of money going to be poured into that race.
Yes, there is, on both sides of the aisle. But on the phone now is an old friend of the program, and I don't mean old like Methuselah or Clay or Moses.
Yeah.
Oh, close. I'm catching up to Clay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Marty served at the Last Supper.
Yeah, I was an usher. But old because we've known him a long time. The first time I interviewed Brian was, oh my God, it was KBRT in Costa Mesa, and I think it was like 1990, some ungodly time like that. Brian Johnston. Yesterday, there you go. From Life Fest and also the National Right to Life League. Brian, welcome back to Taking Care of Business.
Well, it's good to be on with you again, Marty. And you and Clay do a great job there, really hitting the issues that really matter. And, it's been a while, but, the fight is still with us.
Yes.
And, National Right to Life has been at this for a long time. We have affiliates in every state working really through the civic process, because ultimately we're talking about something seriously amiss in our culture. And that is the respect for innocent human life. If we're going to change our culture, ultimately it's our laws that impact those around us. That's what ultimately impacts our culture. But the culture itself, the values of the culture, also have to be addressed. So National Right to Life has incredible educational outreach programs, but also every one of the state affiliates. And obviously California's California Pro-Life Council, New Mexico Right to Life. But every one of the states has an outreach that addresses this important issue. Now, I'm going to quote right now, because I know you're a big fan, as am I, one of our finest presidents ever, and that's Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
Ronald Reagan said this: "There is no cause more important for preserving freedom than affirming the transcendent right to life of all human beings, the right without which no other rights have any meaning." And that's Ronald Reagan.
Wow, I like that.
So who's the worst president in that regard?
Well, I'm going to let the audience decide, but it's pretty clear if you've heard the statements of Barack Obama. Barack Obama has embraced abortion for any reason or no reason at all. And that's really the meaning of choice. When you say, I favor choice, you're talking about abortion not for giving any reason and not needing any reason. You just want to choose to kill this human being. That's what choice is. By the way, we're going to talk at the end of the program, I think, Marty, we're going to talk about somebody who's giving a reason, and that's people in Asia and now some in the U.S. They want to kill that little human being because she's a girl.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
But the choice president, by far, is our current president, Barack Hussein Obama. And if you don't realize his stand on this issue and his worldview, and again, Ronald Reagan hit the importance of this. If human life isn't protected by the law, innocent life protected, then your right to your persons, your paper and property, your other rights that are so important to you, they're meaningless. If you don't have the right to be alive, then the government owns you, which is the opposite of our foundation. The foundation of this nation is that the government has authority because human lives have value, self-evident truth. They have the true value, and the government derives its authority and its right to govern because of the value of the governed. Human lives are more valuable than a bureaucracy. That is an important concept that we must understand. The fact that it's lost, we must reassert it. We have to work to reassert the right to life and educate our friends on that. Real quickly, because we're going to talk about Life Fest. Life Fest is one of the educational outreaches that we're involved in. It's very important. All of us know the impact of Hollywood, and we bemoan it. We know that the Hollywood culture impacts not just California, that little town, so to speak, metaphorically. The town of Hollywood impacts the whole nation and the whole world. Entertainment is one of the principal exports of the state of California. People may not realize that. But the entertainment industry, again, it's spreading, but the culture of the entertainment is spreading. Industry is spreading as well, and it's kind of a carcinogenic culture. And we all know that.
Yeah, Brian, hold on 1 second while I reintroduce you here, okay? Our guest by phone, Brian Johnston from the National Right to Life, but also we're going to talk a lot about Life Fest, which is coming up in May in Hollywood, in that little town you were just talking about, just under the Hollywood Hills there, under the sign.
That's right. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's our fourth year. And I want you to know that there's a lot of people in Hollywood who are pro-life. They tend to keep a low profile because of the culture of Hollywood. They're pro-life. They want to make good pro-life content. And by pro-life, I don't just mean anti-abortion. You know, we tend to reduce just emotionally issues to our emotional level. One of the things we know about this issue, by the way, it does kill a human baby. And I like to use the living pictures of human babies when I talk about this issue because studies have shown that that's the number 2 image that impresses people. The number 1 image in advertising, Madison Avenue guys will tell you, is a pretty girl. It crosses gender, it crosses age groups. The number 2 image is actually that of a little baby. People are impressed by babies. They want to protect babies. They're cute. They're nice. So we like to show that image. But here's part of the problem. Abortion isn't wrong because it's killing a baby. Abortion is wrong because it's killing a human being. And that's what Ronald Reagan's trying to get us across. We've lost the right to life. What happened in 73 is the right to life in this nation was suspended. So it wasn't just that abortions could happen. The entire premise of the right to life. So if your commitment is because you emotionally like babies, they're so cute, and so abortion's wrong. If your emotions are all that's guiding you, then at the other end of life, when Uncle Bill, who you really love, and I remember camping with Uncle Bill, he tells the greatest stories, and now look at him, he's just a living cadaver. Doctor, can't we just send him to be with Jesus? Can't we just deal with this? If your emotions are what guide your values of what's right and wrong, then you're misguided. Because it isn't how someone looks or appears to us personally that matters whether or not their life is valuable. That is, and again, our culture, if we have a chance, I really want to talk about the concept of cultural coercion, because the abortion mentality is a culturally influenced mentality. You know, in India, again, we talk about India, Jimmy Carter literally went on Letterman last week. And on Letterman, he condemned the war on women around the world.
What war?
And yeah, well, there actually is, and he neglects to say most of the countries he's talking about are Islamic countries. He just didn't want to bring that up. But the fact is, in India, we know this. We know it's in China, but in India, it's not the law necessarily telling them to kill the girls. It's the culture. The culture doesn't want you to have another girl because of the cost, how that cultural values work out. So there's a cultural coercion in India that even Jimmy Carter, who is pro-choice, Jimmy Carter told David Letterman that there are little girls targeted and killed in the womb by abortion, and that's wrong. Jimmy Carter said that because it was against women.
Ah, okay.
But he is not over here, and there are articles now, we'll talk about that later, but there's articles how pro-choice women in the U.S. don't know what to do about this because they don't want to restrict this because it might restrict choice. So we have a cultural phenomenon in India, a cultural coercion. But do you know that in India, women that can't do abortions there get on the plane and come to California?
Oh, is that sad? That's sad.
We have cultural coercion in California for abortion.
Sure.
Cultural coercion for abortion for any reason, and it's paid for by the state government.
Yeah, Brian. So, when we come back from the break, let's pick up there. And you listen. You need to come out of your shell a little bit, okay?
Yeah, you got to speed up a little bit. We haven't got all day.
Yeah, you got to come out of your shell a little. We'll be back in a moment with our old friend Brian Johnston on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.